Assalamualaikum and thank you for listening to my video presentation. My name is Nurul Amirah binti AHMAD and my matric number is 2024927135. Today, I will be present my term paper on conflict management, focusing on a personal conflict experience within a peer group and analyzing it through the lens of human resource management concept. Conflict is a normal part of human interaction. It can happen among friends, family members, classmates, and even employees in organization. Although conflict is often viewed negatively, it can also become an opportunity for personal growth, better communication, and stronger relationship when managed effectively. In this reflection, I analyzed a conflict that happened between me and one of my close friends during university. This discussion is also connected to the article, The Role of Emotional Intelligence and Conflict Management in Job Satisfaction and Teamwork, which highlight the importance of emotional intelligence and conflict management in resolving disagreements effectively. This reflection also aims to identify the core skills needed in conflict resolution and explain how these competencies can be applied in the future role as an HR professional to promote a harmonious workplace. During my university years, I experienced a serious conflict between me and my best friend, and this situation became one of the most meaningful learning experience for me personally and emotionally. We were part of the same academic circle and also social circle, so we spent a lot of time together, which attending classes, completing assignments together, and interacting with the same group of friends. However, over time, misunderstandings slowly started develop between us and eventually created emotional distance in our friendship. At that time, I feel that my friend was intentionally ignoring my message and excluding me from a conversation and becoming less interested in maintaining our friendship. On the other hand, my friend believed that I had become distant, less responsive, and emotionally unavailable because both of us, for assumption based on our own perspective, we misunderstood each other's behavior and intention, which gradually increased the tension between us. The conflict mainly happened because of ineffective communication and the lack of honest discussion about our feelings. Instead of addressing the issue openly and calmly, both of us rely too much on personal interpretation and assumption about the situation. As a result, frustration, disappointment, and emotional tension continue to grow and eventually affected the quality of our friendship and interaction within our peer group. When I finally decided to confront my friend about the issue, I react emotionally and defensively because I was already overwhelmed by feeling of being ignored and unappreciated. Although I expressed my thoughts directly, I failed to communicate with empathy, patience, and emotional control. My tone and reaction caused my friend to become defensive as well, which further escalated the disagreement and made the conversation more emotional intense rather than constructive. Looking back at the situation now, I realized that my main emotional trigger were the feeling of being ignored, undervalued, and emotional disconnected from someone I considered close to me. Because I was unable to manage this emotion properly, I reacted impulsively instead of remaining calm and thinking rationally and trying to understand my friend's perspective before responding. Eventually, after some time has passed, we managed to resolve the issue through honest and open communication, where both of us were finally willing to listen and explain our feeling more clearly. However, even though the conflict was resolved, the emotional impact still affected our friendship for a period of time and changed the way we interacted with each other temporarily. Overall, this experience taught me that conflicts are not only caused by differences in opinion, but also by poor emotional management, assumption, and ineffective communication. More importantly, it helped me understand the importance of emotional intelligence, empathy, active listening, and respectful communication when handling disagreement and maintaining healthy relationships. Next, to analyze this situation more deeply, I applied the Thomas-Kilmann conflict mode instrument, also known as the TKI model. This model explains 5 main conflict management styles, which are avoiding, completing, accommodating, compromising, and also collaborating. Each style represents different ways individuals respond to conflict depending on their level of assertiveness and also cooperativeness. At the beginning of the conflict, both of us adopted an avoiding style. We chose not to discuss our feeling directly because we feel uncomfortable and unsure about confronting the issue. However, instead of resolving the problem, this avoidant behavior only created further misunderstanding and increased emotional distance between us. As the tension gradually increased, I shift to a competing style where I express my frustration in more emotional and defensive manner. During this stage, my focus was mainly on protecting my own feeling and defending my perspective rather than attempting to understand my friend's point of view or working toward a mutual solution. According to UN 2035, poorly managed conflict can significantly reduce trust, weaken teamwork, and lower relationship satisfaction. This support my experience as the lack of proper communication during the conflict negatively affected the quality of my relationship with my friend. In contrast, a more effective approach would have been the collaborating style. This style encourages open communication, active listening, mutual understanding, and joint problem solving, where both parties work together to find a win-win situation. Similarly, Yi 2022 explained that collaborative conflict management can improve emotional climate and enhance overall relationship and team effectiveness. In the end, we were able to reach a compromise, but this only happened after emotional damage had already occurred. This experience clearly highlights the importance of managing emotion at an early stage and addressing conflict in a constructive and respectful manner before it's escalated further. Next, I will continue with the skill gap were missing in my experience facing personal conflict. The first skill gap I identified is emotional intelligence, particularly in self-awareness and emotional regulation. During the conflict, I did not fully recognize how strongly I feel ignored and undervalued. As a result, I lacked emotional control and react impulsively instead of responding in a calm and rational manner. According to Martellaro 2023, self-awareness enables individuals to recognize emotional trigger before reacting negatively. In addition, Dogro 2022 found that individuals with higher emotional intelligence are generally more effective in resolving conflict and maintaining a positive relationship. The second skill gap is active listening. In this station, I focus more on defending my own feeling rather than truly to my friend's perspective. Winner 2035 explained that active listening help reduce misunderstanding, good trust, and improve communication. If I had practiced better listening skill, the conflict might have been resolved earlier before it became more serious. The third skill gap is empathy. At the beginning of the conflict, I did not attempt to understand my friend's feeling or view the situation from their perspective. According to Nekipyo and Ahmed Fakri 2035, empathy reduced defensiveness and encouraged cooperation during disagreement. If I had demonstrate more empathy, the emotional tension could have been reduced and the conflict may have been resolved in a more peaceful way. This experience also gave me valuable insight about my future role in human resource. As a future HR professional, I understand that workplace conflict is unavoidable. However, HR plays an important role in managing conflict constructively and maintaining positive work environment. As a mediator, I would encourage employees to communicate openly and respectful while ensuring that all parties feel heard and understood. As a coach, I would help employees develop important soft skills such as emotional intelligence, empathy, active listening, and also assertive communication. These skills are essential for teamwork, collaboration, and job satisfaction. As a neutral investigator, I will focus on fact instead of assumption to ensure fairness and reduce bias during conflict resolution. Most importantly, I believe HR professionals should promote psychological safety in the workplace. Employees should feel comfortable expressing their concern and sharing their opinion and discussing problems without fear of judgment and retaliation. In conclusion, this experience taught me that conflict is not only about disagreement, but also how individuals manage their emotions, communicate, and how understand one another. My conflict with my best friend was mainly caused by poor communication, assumption, and low emotional intelligence. Using avoidant and committing conflict style wasn't the situation before we finally reached a compromise. Through this reflection, I learned the importance of emotional intelligence, empathy, and active listening and constructive conflict management. These lessons have shaped my perspective as a future HR professional and strengthened my understanding of how HR can help create a more harmonious and supportive workplace. I think that's all from my video presentation. Thank you.